President Trump taking his pitch for border security directly to the American people today with his first televised Oval Office address tonight. Let's bring in West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. Senator, great to have you on the program this morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Senator. Good to be with you.
What are your expectations for this moment tonight?
Well, I'm anxiously awaiting to see what he has to say and how we can move forward and get out of this this shutdown that we're in. We had 800,000 great workers who are depending on a paycheck, want to go back to work. I've got 12,000 West Virginians. But, Sandra, on top of that, we have a lot of kids that's going to go without, food, basic necessities of life. So the quicker we can get out of this, the better we are.
The president says it's a crisis. It's a national security issue. Do you agree with the urgency that he's placing on this?
Here's the thing about it. You can argue until the cows come home, but the bottom line is over the years, Congress has given away a lot of authority to the executive branch. So if that's wrong, then they ought to take it back. But if the president declares an emergency, he has a right to do that. And it'll probably go to the courts and be contested. If that gets us out of a shutdown, then so be it. I want to get out of this shutdown. I voted for border security. I would be very hopeful and very, very glad if the president would look at the 2013 immigration reform bill. It does everything I believe he wants done. Protects our border, secures it, gets rid of the bad people that came for the wrong reason, keeps them out because we secure the border. And the people that came here for the right reason, but the wrong way, gives them a pathway forward, a very long one and a very arduous one, but it gives them a pathway to be productive in our country. But, the base has got to give him some leadway here to make this work because we have to negotiate. That's the art of the deal.
I know you've suggested that in the past. Do you still think that's the answer?
I definitely think it's the answer. I think that basically we have a major problem that causes the border problem that we have identified and the president's identified, and that's an immigration problem. If there's not a pathway forward, if there's not a legal pathway forward, and the people that come here because it's the only chance they have, and right now asylum, we're being overrun by asylum seekers. We don't have enough personnel, enough judges to process this. We've got kids walking 3,000 and 4,000 miles. It's ridiculous. We should be protecting them in their own countries through our embassies. Expand our embassies to where a person who's seeking asylum can go there for protection. They can be vetted to see if they qualify, be brought to our state, our country safely then. There's many ways that we can all do this. I would like to think the president is really sympathetic and empathetic towards this approach.
Well, the president wonders, as you often hear him say, whether or not Democrats want border security. He says they don't. To that you say what?
Well, we voted, Mr. President, in 2013 in the Senate. I can't speak for the House, but I can speak for the Senate because in 2013, 68 senators, Democrats and Republicans working together, put a piece of major reform, the first of its kind, so extensively. Everything was based around border security. My Republican friends and colleagues put that together, John Hoeven and Bob Corker. We put $42 billion plus, and it was more agents, it was more technology, it was drones, it was security, it was fencing, it was secured gates. It was everything that was needed, and we should be listening to the professionals, the Custom Border Patrol people who know what it takes to secure our border.
Well, I just wonder how you think this is all going to end before I move on.
Well, this impasse has got to break. The president, as he's written a book, The Art of the Deal. We're to the point now where there's a deal to be made.
And you think it's up to him?
Well, I think he has to basically show signs because Mitch McConnell has not showed any indication that he's going to move unless he gets a sign from the president. This will be something I can accept, and we'll go ahead and move forward. And the president has to give that signal to them for it to happen the way I understand it. Tonight he'll give his approach and he'll give his reasonings for what he's doing, what he wants done. I'm sure there's going to be a Democrat rebuttal and basically where they stand. We have 6 bills right now before us. Now, I've told the president, we spoke before about this. So, Mr. President, you're not going to get another chance with a Democrat-controlled House right now to get the 6 bills, as far as appropriation bills, that fund 90% of our government for the next year the way you have them right now. And that should not be held as a leverage or a bargaining chip. I think that hopefully we can move on from that and basically truly look at immigration reform. I'm hoping that's what we can do.
I want to ask you about this this Middle East security bill because there's been a bit of controversy surrounding this involving a freshman congressman, Rashida Tlaib, who I know you've weighed in on in recent days over some profanity she used when calling for the president's impeachment. Did you want to say something on that before I bring up this latest?
Well, no, that's in our civility. I mean, in our country, that type of uncivility, really, in those type of dialogue and wording, it's not something that I'm accustomed to. It's not something that I would ever use. It's not the way I was raised in West Virginia. It's not what we teach in West Virginia. How you basically have a dialogue, a respectful way of disagreeing. That's just not what you do.
Would you like to see your party leaders speak out against that?
They should speak out. Everyone should speak out of it. Everyone should speak out against that type of language being used against any other former colleague or any person that's basically held with responsibility of leading our country. Well, my goodness, that's just not tolerated.
The latest controversy from her was this tweet. They forgot what country they represent, she wrote. This is the U.S. where boycotting is a right and part of our historical fight for freedom and equality. Maybe a refresher on our U.S. Constitution is in order. Then get back to opening up our government instead of taking our rights away. Your colleague, Senator Marco Rubio, tweeted a response. This dual loyalty canard is a typical anti-Semitic line. Hashtag BDS isn't about freedom and equality. It's about destroying hashtag Israel. And if boycotting Israel is constitutionally protected, then boycotting companies that boycott Israel is also constitutionally protected. There has been a continued back and forth since then. Talib has responded to him. I just wanted to get your response as that seems to continue.
Well, I'm a co-sponsor with Marco on the BDS bill. We don't have a better ally than Israel. We've never had a better ally. We don't have a better economic trading partner than Israel. And basically, anti-Semitism can't be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going to defend Israel every way and every time I can. With that being said, people have a right and a freedom and economically, if it's a bad deal, they don't want to be in business, whatever. But basically, they're doing this truly as anti-Semitism, and it cannot be accepted. And I'm going to support the BDS bill that we have supported, and I've co-sponsored with Marco.
Is there truly an effort by Democrats to stop any vote in the Senate until the government reopens?
I respect where they're coming from. Here's what they're saying, and my colleagues have called me, and we've talked about this. They come from states that's an awful lot of harm are being done and an awful lot of anger within the constituency groups of this thing being shut down. And can't we at least bring them to where we can get an impasse on this and move forward? So they're thinking by basically not allowing any type of other piece of legislation until we vote on the 6 bills. I want to vote on the 6 bills. I have no problem at all. But I'm not going to cut my nose off to spite my face and not support the BDS and support Israel.
Got it. And that is where you stand on the issues this morning. Senator Joe Manchin, great to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be with you.